grade. Fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
Hi guys, I ain't seen y'all in a minute. Let's get right into it. The last time I saw you guys, we talked about the Renaissance and the medieval period of music. Weird sounding stuff. We're going to go through 3 eras of music today, and I'm going to give you one composer for each. At the end of the lesson, you're going to take those 3 composers, find me one song from each of them, listen to it, and tell me the song you listened to in Dojo. So, immediately after the medieval, the Renaissance, right, we're starting on the classical era of music. Now, the classical era occurred between the years 1750 and 1820. And one of the most well-known composers from that time period is none other than Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Now, if you have ever listened to any music with a piano or a symphony ever, you've heard Mozart. Born in 1756, died in 1791. A couple things about Mozart real quick. He was a child prodigy. Some people say he was born with a violin in his hand. I'm not sure how true that is, but you believe it. He was performing for royalty by the age of 5 years old. He wrote in his time 41 pieces for a symphony. Now, a symphony is a group of instruments playing together. Specifically, a symphony will have woodwinds, brass, strings, and percussion all playing at the same time. So that's a lot of instruments to write for, but Mozart did it 41 different times. He is also, now this last point's open for debate, but a lot of people say that Mozart was the king of the classical era. He is considered to be the greatest classical composer of all time. Depending on who you ask, they'll say it was somebody else, but a lot of people say Mozart. That's the first composer you gotta find a song for. Now, moving on from the classical era, we move into the Romantic era. Now, quick disclaimer, it's called the Romantic era because music of this time was all about emotions and feeling. It wasn't the Romantic era because everyone was writing love songs. No, not quite that. Now, the Romantic era occurred between 1820 and 1910. Here comes another name you probably know. Oh wait, no. Did I pick the wrong guy? I picked the wrong guy. That's fine. Chopin. Now, I know a lot of you looking at the screen saying that does not say Chopin, that says Chopin.
Chopin.
It's not Chopin.
It's Chopin.
It's Chopin. I have a degree.
It's Chopin.
Yeah. So Chopin was born in 1810 and died in 1849. Right in the middle of the Romantic era. So, a couple things about Chopin. He mostly wrote for piano. Now, he wrote some other things, but even the other things that he wrote had piano in it somewhere. How do kids say it these days? Chopin would say piano is bay. Kids still say bay? Is that
No.
still okay? I don't know what y'all say no more. I'm getting old. But he wrote almost exclusively for piano. On top of that, he was a very shy performer. In fact, in the entire time he was alive, he only gave a public performance, like a concert, 30 times. That was it. That's almost less than one a year. He preferred what was called the salon, which at the time was a bunch of people in a small room listening to one person play. That was his deal. So, find me one song from Chopin, give it a listen, post that too. And now we move into the modern era, which occurred between 1910 and the year 2000, only 20 years ago. So the modern era is when you start seeing stuff like, I know, we're getting old.
We're getting old.
So old. The modern era is when you guys start seeing the kind of music you all listen to today. Hip-hop, rap, R&B, rock, electronic, dance music, jazz. Y'all don't listen to jazz, I don't think so, but jazz is the one form of music that everything you all listen to came from. A lot of the chords, a lot of the way the melodies sound, everything you listen to can be traced back to jazz. But before jazz, there was another form of music that even jazz drew from called ragtime. Now, out of all the composers, there was only one man who earned the title of the king of ragtime, and that is Scott Joplin. Now, Scott Joplin was born in the year 1868 and died in 1917. He actually lived in Texas for a time during his life, so not only was it recent compared to everyone else, it was nearby. Now, if you want to know what ragtime is, if you've ever heard an ice cream truck, you've heard ragtime. Specifically, you've heard Joplin. Stop me if you've heard this song before. Ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, bum. That song is called The Entertainer. You hear it on every ice cream truck ever, and Joplin is the one who wrote it. Now, another really cool thing about Joplin, he was mostly self-taught. He didn't have a lot of music teachers until he was a bit older, so when he was a kid, he taught himself music. So, you're going to find another song from Joplin, and along with Chopin and Mozart, you're going to tell me the one song you listen to from all three of them. Now, this is the end of the video, and this is normally the part where I say, I'll see you guys next time. Unfortunately, because of our posting schedule, this is the last video I'm going to post for you. And since you're in 5th grade, this will be the last lesson you get from me. I'm sorry we couldn't have this lesson in the classroom because of what's happened, but I am happy that I got to teach you and work with you guys for the time that I did. So I'm not going to say, I'll see you next time. I'm not going to say goodbye. I don't do well with goodbyes. I'll just say, I'll see you when I see you. Take care.